Located at the heart of central Kenya and covering an area of 2,326 kilometers squared and a population of about 1.1 million people, Murang'a County is one of the most arable regions in the country. Besides its picturesque scenery, the region prides itself with a rich agricultural tradition, with coffee and tea among its leading cash crops and dairy farming presenting area residents with an alternative to supplement their daily needs. But it is the dwindling fortunes of the agriculture sector that has presented a new threat to area residents. Coupled with high unemployment rate, the state of affairs has seen an increase in rural-urban migration as young people struggle to complement their incomes, with the obtaining situation exposing them to the threat of HIV/AIDS.
Hata wasichana wetu wamepotelea huko kwa sababu hapa hakuna kazi.
Vijana wetu wanakataa kufanya kazi, wakakaa kwa barabara.
Despite the country recording impressive results in recent years, registering a significant drop in new HIV infections, a significant percentage of those aged between 15 and 24 years continue to be infected, a state of affairs that threatens to reverse the gains made over the years. Indeed, the Kenya AIDS Response Progress Report 2018 indicates a shift in prevalence in regions where the disease burden was low, with these regions reporting increased cases of new infections. It is this very reality that has now left health stakeholders in the region worried.
Murang'a County incidence is quite high, that every day 4 people get infected.
There has been an upsurge of sexual involvement, especially young girls and young boys are involving in sex as early as 10, as early as 11 years.
According to Murang'a County Executive in charge of Health and Sanitation, Joseph Mbai, the county recorded 6,500 teenage pregnancies last year alone.
When you look at that scenario, you realize that it's a very dangerous issue, because when young people are engaging in sex like that, then as a county government, we feel at a loss, because we really need to encourage and create awareness to young people to be careful.
A reality that National AIDS Control Council Regional Coordinator Julius Koome says has left stakeholders concerned.
Persons of 10 to 19 years, those are the teenagers, and 15 to 24 years, they are adolescents and young persons. The prevalence is high, the incidence, the new infections in that population is high.
The popularity of the border transport business for those who have just finished their primary and secondary school education only acting to worsen the situation. The operators now acting as magnets to young girls who are attracted by their newfound riches.
But the money will make an average of 300 or 400 per day, and we have people who don't have money. That money is a real factor. It's a pull factor for other social interactions, especially for young school girls.
You realize that majority of border riders are young men, and most of their customers are women or ladies or girls in that matter. So that relationship of ferrying one another on daily basis, especially when girls are going to school, when they are going to the market, it creates some familiarity.
Mwingine mnambeba maybe akona kamzigo na unajua hiyo mzigo ni yake, unafungilia. Sasa mkifika kwa nyumba anakuambia, "Kai please oyesi nitaongeza mbao uniingizie hapa tu kwa mlango." Sasa ukiingia kwa mlango, yeye anadhani sasa wewe umefika.
The moment msichana amevaa design, yani ina seduce wanaume, wana get kwa hiyo mtego.
Sasa zingine unawapeleka customer kwambia, "Mimi sina do. Fanyaje?" Tupiga hiyo hesabu. Sasa wakaa huku umejibebea, unaenda hivyo ukiwa through.
People tend to label them because of the nature of their work. They do it at night, they do transport at night, so they are very vulnerable.
The resultant effect being an increase in the new HIV infections in an area where stigma levels for those who have contacted HIV remains high.
Stigma index is quite high. Our survey of 2017 revealed that this region has a stigma index of 39%. And as we are aware, those of us who have worked in HIV/AIDS for some time, stigma is the biggest barrier to HIV/AIDS programming.
A truth that rings true for Joanne Nyambura, who tested positive in 1998, losing her husband just 2 years later and left to provide for 3 children.
The stigma is still very high because people are still in denial. They do not want to accept that this thing is there. They also fear that if I disclose my HIV status to my partner, there is a possibility, because of our culture, there is a possibility of being chased away, there is a possibility of being disinherited, there is a possibility of all issues. So you just opt to keep quiet because you do not want to share this with somebody for fear of the unknown.
How then will a problem that provides the biggest challenge yet in the fight against HIV/AIDS be resolved?
I don't know why people don't feel it's necessary to go and get tested. And me, I always say, either you get tested or not, whether you have it, it will still continue eating you up.
We are rolling out a workplace policy where every institution, every sector will be required to have HIV/AIDS wellness workplace policy, tracked by National Disease Control Council and other partners.
Stakeholders in the fight against the scourge now calling for sustained efforts coupled with effective communication channels to disseminate messages in an effort to motivate the local community to engage in a range of options geared towards reducing the spread of HIV as well as the risk of new infections.